WordPress provides a set of notices that we can use to display warnings or success messages. We could just use our own Bootstrap classes, but I don't want to use them. This is because I plan on making the notices appear on most admin pages. However, I don't want to load Bootstrap classes just to display messages. It's better to just use the WordPress stylings for this. It's not hard to pull off, so let's get started. I want to display notices to the admin if there are more than 5 pending recipes. Inside the main plugin file, let's add the action hook admin notices. This event will trigger when the admin notices begin loading, so we want to load ours too. The function will be called rAdminNotices. Create a file inside the includes/admin folder named notice.php. Define the function here and make sure to include it. Inside this function, we're going to output a div tag with the classes notice-warning is-dismissible. I'm also going to give it the ID of r-recipe-pending-notice. I'm going to insert a p tag for formatting reasons, and inside it I'm going to output the message. You have a couple of recipes waiting to be reviewed. I'm also going to make this translatable. This is the very basics of creating an admin notice. The only things worth highlighting is the class names. The notice class is required to have WordPress format and space the notice for you. The notice-warning class will determine the color of the class. There are 4 classes you can use to change the colors, which are the notice-info, notice-success, notice-warning, and notice-error classes. In this example, we're using the warning version, which gives us the color yellow. The last class is the is-dismissible class. This class will add a little close button to the far right, which will allow the user to close this notice. Let's refresh the admin page and see if everything works. As you can see, the notice is now displaying. The only problem is that this notice is displaying on every page load. Even if we were to click on the close button, it'll only disappear on that current page load. If we refresh the page again, you'll see it reappears. WordPress doesn't take care of managing notices for you. It all has to be done manually by you. Luckily, the process is very simple. I'm going to create an option that will determine whether or not to display the notice. The best place to put this is inside the submit-user-recipe.php file. I only want this code to apply to this file because all posts submitted on the front end are automatically set to pending. Open this file, and right before we output the response, we're going to place the code here. I'm going to add a comment so that it can be easier to read this file. Right before we define the variables, I'm going to include the WPDB variable so that we can make a query to grab how many posts are pending. Then, back up this spot, I'm going to create a variable named pending recipe count. I'm going to set this to the value returned by the method getVar of the WPDB object. Here is the query I'm going to make. Select count from WPDB posts where post_status equals pending and post_type equals recipe. This query is very straightforward. I'm counting how many posts are inside the posts database table. I'm filtering the results to only include the posts that are pending approval and that the post type is recipe. After this, I'm going to create a conditional statement that will check if the number is greater than or equal to 5. If this returns true, then I'm going to call the update option function. This function will automatically create the option if it doesn't exist, so that's why we're using the update version instead of using the add version. The option I want to add will be called rPendingRecipeNotice. The value will be 1. 1 will mean there are recipes pending and 0 will mean there are no recipes pending. Just like that, we've added an option only if there are currently more than 5 recipes pending approval. The next step is to update the notice function to check for this value. I'm going to add a conditional statement. I'm simply going to check the value returned by the getOption function. We just passed it in the option we created earlier. I'm going to check if this returns false. If it does, then we'll just return the function preventing the notice from displaying. The very last step to all of this is to remove the notice if the user clicks on the close button. If we don't, then the notice will appear permanently, which we don't want. We'll need the help of JavaScript to accomplish this. Inside the assets/js folder, open the admin-global.js file. I've already provided the code for you to speed things up. As the name suggests, this file will be loaded on every admin page. This file should only have code that you'd want to load on every admin page. You don't want to bloat a user's admin dashboard. All I'm doing here is listening for a click on the dismiss button. If it's clicked, then I'll make an action request. I won't be sending data besides the action name since this will be a pretty simple function. The name of the action is rdismiss pending recipe notice. Inside the main plugin file, add this hook. The name of the function will be the same name. Then create a file inside the process folder called remove-notice.php and define the function here. Make sure to include it as well. All we will do is update the option rPendingRecipeNotice to 0. That should do it. Let's test to see if everything works. I'm going to submit a little over 5 recipes from the front-end publisher. Alright, as you can see, I have 5 pending recipes. If you look at the top, you'll see the notice appearing. I'm going to remove this notice and it should disappear. If I refresh the page, then it should still be gone. Just like that, we've added a nice little notice on the admin dashboard.